So I'm going to give you an example, and the title is A Successful Love Story. But look at the little print at the bottom, if you notice. All right, when a romantic journey begins, just imagine yourself in that kind of situation. I think all of us, when we start a romantic journey, we hope we will have a very real ending, happily ever after. So the story begins when we have this well-established SME merged with a young private company, and they have a kind of different culture, a bit of different customers at the beginning when they are put together. They have slightly different organization cultures, and they strive to kind of find a way, the new path, the new strategies. And as a result of this merger, there are changes, obviously. Two companies coming together, you have to find a new path to create the need for new strategies, for new business, for new synergies. And that may cause structural changes, competency changes, and other kind of changes. So when there are changes, obviously there are uncertainties. And when there are uncertainties, we are human beings. Psychologically, we may not feel really good because we don't know what is ahead of us. It could be something positive, it can also be something negative. And when there are uncertainties, people's motivation will be affected, and therefore a lot of communication is needed to facilitate that transition. Also, you need to have a good performance and reward system to reinforce the right message, to create the right organizational culture for your people. So the phase usually happens as such that it will be a shock, then some of them will accept the change, some of them will not, and therefore they may leave the organization. And those who accept, they may adjust in different levels. Some may be a lot more engaged, some may be less engaged. But at the end, anyway, they will settle. Okay? So this is how that process happened in this little organization. But at the end, after the post-merger transition, when things settle down, they are gradually now moving towards this happy family structure. So what have we done? So in the SHARPEN project, actually we work on a really small part of this big change. So last year, we were working together with the organization to look very specifically into more on the performance and reward management system. Why we focus on that? Because when you have a change, you have new strategies. When you have new strategies, you need to make sure that your people understand those strategies and make them into concrete performance objectives, and those then must be reinforced by concrete reward system. And that is where we were looking. But I put this big header up there that you look at hire, train, retain, grow. Okay, of course that is the entire kind of actions we want to achieve in the human resource management area. But we focused a lot into this retain and grow, train, retain, grow. So we didn't focus so much on project on hiring. But what I wanted to say is that this project in all 5 regions actually cover all the spectrum of that: hire, train, retain, and grow. So we hope to create as comprehensive as possible tools that will help SMEs to know some amount of knowledge how to do good hiring, effective hiring, because hiring is time, especially for small companies who do not have time to spend a lot of money and a lot of resources to find people. You want to know where you can find the right kind of people at the right time with the fastest, most cost-effective way. And after that, you need to also know how to identify gaps so that you can train them and continuously develop them. Hopefully, you can keep them. You also want to know how can you develop better employer branding to attract people to come to work with you, because you know financially you may not be as well-to-do as big company. You cannot offer the biggest, largest salary package to attract your talent. So how else can you attract them, can you keep them and grow with them? Okay, so that is pretty much what we want to do as a team. And coming back to our love story, it was not about the two companies that got married that I'm talking about. It was about the post-merger entity and the employees that continue to work there. The happy marriage should be between the entity and the employees. So therefore, that is what we wanted to achieve. And the good news is, after the project, although it may not be all related to our project output, but at least I think through the project, the employees, the managers, especially in the organization, has now a little bit more awareness of what performance management is, especially on the reward management, and they understand that actually in the small company or smaller company, it doesn't mean that you always must give financial reward as an option. There are many other choices. Actually, we did the survey with the employees. We found some possible options that do not always involve just paying big bonuses. And those kind of information will be shared in the e-handbook later. And obviously, we are not going to say a lot more about the company, but we want to focus on sharing the tool. And hopefully, you in these similar situations at the moment will find that tool useful and give you some new idea how to use it, because the company that we have worked with has successfully used it in the organization to create better engagement in the employee, to create better satisfaction in the organization. And so therefore the end result we want to create, and hopefully everybody can walk into the organization and say, hey, I love my job and I love my company. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. It doesn't matter if it locates in Helsinki or Kajaani. I love where I am. I love my job. I love the company. So that is what we hope to achieve for our SMEs, and so that we can reduce, for example, employee turnover. After you attract the right person, you do not want him or her to go. You want him or her to stay so that you can grow together. You can flourish together. And therefore, hopefully, the rest of the indicator will go up, like your profitability, your growth, your productivity, the quality, because you now have happy employees who are satisfied. Okay? And so we will have this e-handbook coming later. Okay? 31st of August 2019. So first, and actually last as well, that I would like to just remind us, all of us here, why are we here? Because we want to identify what are the common challenges. But avoiding challenges doesn't help us go any better. We have to face it. And the only way to face it is to find what is it. What are the obstacles in front of me? And then we hope that we can try to put all our heads together. There are about 60 people in this room now. I'm quite sure we will be able to find something that we can try. No guarantee it will be 100% working or not, but with all our combined knowledge, I think the chances of it working is better than just I alone or you alone doing it. So therefore, we hope through all these discussions, through all the networking, through the workshop, and so on and so forth, you can share best practices, you can share ideas together, and finally also we want to have this forum to disseminate the results, because the results also point you to some directions what is exactly happening in our region. So therefore we really hope you will support our this kind of collaborative approach, not just today, not just tomorrow, but hopefully in an ongoing basis, even after the end of the project. So I borrowed this quote from Steve Jobs. Great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team. And this team is even more important when you are in SMEs, because you have only few people and fewer people than large organizations like those I work for. 13,000 people, 31,000 people across the world. So when you have 5, 10, 20 people, those are your capital, your human resources. And only if you know how to use them, you can make best use of them and create a great company regardless of size. Because you can't have a wasted space when you have not so much space at the moment. And so, at the end, I'm going to say, happy employees most likely will bring happy customers. And this is even more important when you're in service industry, in small businesses. However great the product may be, without great customer service, without great people, there's not so much business. So again, just reiterate the importance of happy employees bringing happy customers, therefore happy business growth for everyone. One more time, hire, train, retain, and grow. 4 keywords for SMEs to be better and better. Okay, finally a few words about this networking dinner. We are out here to listen to your needs. Similarly, I hope you can discuss and share ideas during this dinner. We have this finished dinner. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I think it was like maybe some gyno salmon soup, was it? Oh. Yeah. Yes, okay. But anyway, it is just kind of style dinner because we thought we have many foreigners here. We would really like to share our culture with them and help them know what are the good stuff here. And also, after that, we will have the workshop. So I hope you will have your voice heard and have your story told. So please actively participate in the workshop. I know there are a few people missing here, so we may have to regroup, although I have made a group earlier. But then we will regroup these people into smaller groups, and then we will figure out what to do after that. So those information will be shown again after dinner, and I will gather the students to work with the students, and they will produce different output, and hopefully what their output will be will help SMEs to think how can they attract young people to work in their organizations better. What are their perspective and perceptions of SMEs? So that is the main topic they will discuss, and that is the main topic they will deliver to you at the end of today's workshop. Alright, I guess I go a little bit longer than I planned, but any questions? Okay, if there are questions, don't worry, we will speak during dinner. For time being, I think we should continue with the other presentation. Okay.